Hello everyone, today is day number 51 of our IELTS preparation lessons. So we are waiting for others to join. Let's wait a little bit, okay? For those who are watching it and recording, we've been doing this for 51 days today. So we've discussed many questions connected with the speaking, with writing, with reading and others. Basically, we're working with the planning. That I have noticed many of the students have problems with proper planning and what to start, like where to start, how to start the preparation, and how the process of preparation is going. Okay, they have a problem with that. And many of the students, when they do the preparation, they, for example, you have decided to start preparing for listening, right? And what usually students do? Students usually start doing all 40 questions at once, and they try to finish it in 1 hour, and they don't listen it second time. They listen it like in an actual examination. So here is the mistake. It doesn't help you. First of all, preparing that way doesn't help you to make progress. You will not make progress. It's not helpful actually, and you will get tired easily. And also, there is a high probability that you will get. You will burn out. Okay, so you will get tired of preparation and you will hate preparation for IELTS. So that's why what I would recommend you to do. First of all, when you're starting, it's better. So when you're starting for IELTS, when you're starting preparation for IELTS, basically what you should do, I would recommend you to start from listening. Because it's the easiest, like, I wouldn't say that it's the easiest way, but compared to other parts of IELTS, it's much easier. And I would recommend you to start from the part 1, where part 1, I mean, in listening there are 40 questions, 10 questions in each part. There are 4 parts. So start with the part 1, with the first 10 questions. They are the easiest questions. And try to do those questions for about 3 or 4 days. And you will see the progress. And how you should listen. You should listen, for example, if you've missed something, you can listen a second time. If you missed something and the second time, you can listen for the third time. There is no problem with that. Okay. And then when you start getting a higher score on part 1, for example, close to almost full, for example, when you start getting 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 every time, you will start to feel confident in listening. Then you can move on to part 2. Okay, Big Sultan, hello. Happy to see you. Let's do speaking. Okay, let's do speaking. So you want to take a topic like yesterday? We can take a topic from yesterday's. Okay, let me find the website with the questions. So here are the questions. Just let me show it to you. Yeah, here are the questions. What are we going to talk about? Accommodation, your city, watches, tidiness, history, evening time, sport programs, films, live stages, park, mirror, cars. Let's start from the beginning. Tidiness. We have talked about tidiness. We have talked about history. Shall we talk about evening time? Okay, let's talk about evening time. Leonard, hello, how are you? Because it's weekend today, people are a bit lazy. They don't come to these lessons on weekends, unfortunately. I'm good. Not as energetic as yesterday, but still going on. Есть ли определенная структура, чтобы отвечать на вопросы? Yes, there is a structure. When you're answering in part 1, you have to answer the question, explain the answer. Okay, you give answer, explain the answer, and if possible, you can give additional information or you can give an example. Yeah. This 3-part answer from 3 sentences or 3 parts. How would you call them? For example, do you like evenings? Yes, actually, I'm an evening person. Or I do love evenings because it's the best time for me to be like. It's the most active. It's how to say it. It's the most active time for my brain to work. So what I mean by that, start explaining. What I mean by that is that in the evening time, there are so many ideas that my brain starts to generate that I have to sit down and write them down. For example, yesterday. See, third part. For example, yesterday I remember that I've read some book and I wanted to write something about the book. And usually many smart ideas come to my mind in the evening. Okay, Leonard, I'm working with writing. What kind of writing? Writing 1, writing 2. How is it going? Is it difficult? Not difficult? Yes, very interesting. What's going on? Why is it too silent? Why there are no questions, no answers? Cedric, hello. Today I came on the stream early. Yes. And I started the stream a little bit early, about 5 or 6 minutes early I started. I started a little bit early. Okay, Leonard, actually I like evenings. It's most relaxing time for me. Usually I read books, watching movies, or do jogging. Yes. So here is the structure, Big Sultan. Here is the structure. She answered the question, I like evenings. Then she added an explanation. It's the most relaxing time for me. And she added an example. Usually I read books, watch movies, or do jogging. Or go jogging. Jogging is running. You go running. You don't do jogging. That's it, like 3-part structure. Answer the question, add details, give examples. That's all. Or answer the question, give explanation, give example. That's all. Сол баяғы task бір негізі жаман емес. Сіздің видеоңызбен жазып отырғам. Okay. сол видеомен жай жасай беріңіз. Сол дұрыс негізі. Солай жасаған дұрыс. Ең бастысы сізге қазір структурасына үйреніп алу да, чтобы андай әдет сияқты қалыптасып қалу. Содан кейін любой writing жаза бересіз, без разницы. Okay, 80 days before the exam. Is it possible to cover most common topics in writing task 2? Most common in writing task 2. So you see, in writing task 2, it's difficult to pinpoint or to highlight the most common topics. Topics, yeah, there might be some topics that are repeated, but to predict which set of questions will come to you, it's almost impossible. So yeah, you can write on common topics like education, what else, crime, nature and other problems, I don't know, advantages of something, employment and so on, bringing up. There are general topics, for example, sport, injuries in sport, and something else like these topics. You need to have a clear set of ideas. You need to know how to create ideas, and you need to know how to develop those ideas. Просто на speaking есть у меня проблема, просто не знаю, что ответить. Даже на русском я бы не ответил. Например, how often do you look at sky? Once in a week, все, что могу из себя выдавить. Ru, hello, hi everyone, hello, happy to see you. So, Bek Sultan, when you are answering the question, for example, right, your question, how often do you look at sky? Answer the question, once a week. Okay, can you add some details? Once a week, which day? Specifically, which day? Do you have a specific day or is it random? You can always expand your answer. You can always elaborate your answer. Elaborate means to add some details. Okay, add little details. For example, if you watch the sky once a week, you can say which day. You can say, is it random, or how do you feel when you look at the sky? Is it connected with, I don't know, what is this connected with? Why do you look at sky once a week? Do you go out not often? Or maybe something else? There's always a way to add some details. Okay. What else? How else can I help you? So, Bek Sultan, I would say that you have problems not with the English language. You have a problem with developing your ideas. You can work on it in your language, for example, in Russian. Okay, so you can work on developing ideas in Russian. And then you will learn how to develop it in English. Because if you cannot develop an idea or give a extended answer in your language, you will not be able to say anything in English, because without ideas, it doesn't matter how good you know English. Okay, Ruh, wa alaikum assalam. We are good, yes. I'm good. I'm a little bit tired today though. Okay, Leonard, I don't like working in the evening because I'm not so productive as it was in the morning. As it is in the morning. Okay, what do you usually she started answering the next question. Ruh, we are answering the questions that are on the screen about evening time. You can watch it here. Let me just make it a little bit like this. Here, can you see them? So today I practiced listening test from Cambridge 18. Okay, good. How much you get? Did you get a lot of correct answers? So we're answering about evening time. We're doing some speaking practice. If you want, you can answer them as well. Okay, do you like... No, the second question. What do you usually do in the evening? Well, very interesting question. It depends on the day of the week. If it's a weekday, after work, usually in the evening, I try to relax at least for half an hour after the work, because when I come home, I have other students that I have to teach online. That's why in the evenings I'm not, I'm not free in the evenings on weekdays. But on the weekends, when there is a chance to have a free time in the evening, in the weekends, I would go outside and have a walk. Because I know that walking helps with stress. And if you work really hard, even in the evenings after work, and if you don't relax on weekdays, you have to relax. You have to force yourself to relax on the evenings and weekdays. In weekends, I'm sorry. Okay, today I have to talk about part 2 of the listening test. Okay, Ruh, let's talk about it. What about it? Do you want me to explain you part 2? I can explain it to you if you want. Okay, let's move on to explaining listening part 2. When I was a child, I used to go swimming. After that, I played chess with my grandpa, read book, especially fairy tales with my grandma. Very interesting activities you had. Okay, let's see. Let me explain listening part 2 to our international student, shall we? Okay, so Ruh, are you watching? Okay, so let's go to the site Engdavid and let's see IELTS test listening part 2. Cambridge Academic, we choose Cambridge Academic, and then we move on to listening part 2. Any test. Okay, so this is the part 1, first 10 questions. You know what to do, there's no problem. Okay, in listening part 2, there will be usually 2 or 3 types of questions. First type of question is called multiple choice here. ABC. Usually it's ABC. Okay, and let me show you this one, for example, from IELTS 20. Okay, here, these questions. What problems do we have here? First problem, first thing that we have to do is to highlight the keyword in the question. What is being asked? For example, Heather says pottery differs from other art forms because. So, what is different? She says about something different from other art forms because, okay, it lasts longer, it lives longer, practiced by more people, okay, more people do it, then can be repaired more easily, can be repaired. Okay, so we have highlighted keywords in the answers and in the questions. If the answers A, B, C are long, you have to shorten it to 1 or 2 words. So usually questions are long, and you have to find the keyword in the question. Okay, so when you are preparing, don't look at the time. For example, we have a timer here. See? Timer. But we don't look at the timer because it's our practice time. On the practice time, spend some time to find the keywords. Keywords are usually nouns or verbs. Either it's noun or verb. Okay? And from them you will understand what is being asked, and in the answers you will see what is the difference between each answer. And when the speaker will talk, the speaker will talk about all of three answers. So it will talk about its lasting longer, it will talk about more people, or maybe she would say fewer people, and she can say it can be repaired, or maybe she can say it cannot be repaired. Or maybe she may not say anything about making it repairing it. So, what is the difference between other art forms and pottery? You are ready for the question, right? And when you are listening, she will not say the answers A, B, C in the order. She will not say A first, B second, C third. She can mix them. Okay, and when she mixes them, you should remember, you should keep in mind which answer she's talking about. But for example, many people do it. Okay, or maybe she would say fewer people do it, and this would show that this is not the answer. It says more people, the listening says fewer people. Okay, and after each answer she would add some details. There is some comments on this answer, and based on that comment you will understand, is it the correct answer or not correct answer. So you can do both ways. You can find the correct answer. Also, you can find two incorrect answers. If you have found two incorrect answers but you missed the correct one, you can choose the missing one. That's all. Okay? Work on comments. So what I would say, what I would recommend you is work on the comments. First, work on the keywords and work on the comments for each answer. This is the first type of questions, multiple choice. There are other types of questions. They are similar actually to multiple choice. It's choosing two correct answers out of 5. So when she explains something about cones, what she mentions, what their function, she talks about their function, she talks about when they were invented. Okay, the keyword is when invented, ways of keeping them safe, how to keep them safe, where to put one in your home, where to put it in your home. Okay, keywords, where, home. What some people use instead of one, what some people use instead of one. So what people use instead of cones. So we have 5 answers. Out of these 5 answers, you will find one correct answer. And you might find it difficult to find the second correct answer. Okay? What you should do? First, you can find, so you have to listen for each answer. Listen for each answer. And while listening about each answer, you have to decide, is it correct answer or not correct answer? For example, when they were invented. Okay, so you're listening when they were invented. She says, but she doesn't say when they were invented. Okay, this is not correct answer. This is wrong. Okay, what their function? So it does that, it does that, it does that. Okay, so she says about the function, keeping them safe. She says, okay, it's very dangerous, blah, 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 but she doesn't say anything about keeping them safe. Okay, this is not correct answer. And there are 2 answers left. Where to put it in your home? She says, many people want to have it at home, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's not safe, it's very dangerous, blah, blah, blah. And you see, this is not the correct answer. Okay? Not correct, not correct, not correct. But you found one correct answer. Then this one is correct. That's all. Okay? You don't have to listen until the end even. But you have to listen until the end to make sure that this is the correct answer. But if you have missed this one, no problem. Okay, so with these questions, listen to the answer and take notes about the comments. Okay, then here again, keywords. Listen to each answer and decide is it correct or not correct. Okay. And here, be careful because here, for example, you have from 11 to 16. It has how many questions? 6 questions. It has 6 questions. You have to prepare for 6 questions. In the first half, in the second half, you have to prepare for 4 questions. Not only 17, 18. You have to prepare from 17 until 20. Okay, so you will, and you have to notice where she moves to the second one. For example, does Heather make about potter's tools? Okay, when she starts to talk about potter's tools, you will understand that she has moved to questions number 19, 20. Okay? Do you have any questions? It's very late, so watch it tomorrow. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, possible, could you please have your class a little earlier, please, sir? I will try to. Okay, also, hello. Smarika Thapa, hello. Okay, Ruh, which website should you use for practice? You should use Engnovate. Healthy69, I'm delighted to see you. Yes, I'm happy to see you as well. Wow, this lesson is beneficial. Yeah, maybe. I hope so. Okay, so when you have listened to, so first of all, what you should do, keywords, highlight the keywords in questions and answers, then listen to the answer and listen to the comment, and based on the comment you should decide is it the correct answer or not correct answer. Okay, here are 2 types of questions that I have mentioned: multiple choice questions, ABC, and these type of questions where you have to find 2 out of 5. Okay, so let's look at other type of questions. There are also other type of questions in part 2. This is the 3rd type. Only 3 types of questions actually. This one, matching. Okay. Here, you can read the question. For example, what problem, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here she talks, the speaker talks about the problem. Okay. She would talk about the problem, street food business. So these are the street food businesses. You don't have to worry about the numbers. For example, Thai Basil, Basque, Lowe's Kitchen, Chip Chop. She would talk about it in an order. Don't worry, you will not miss it. Okay, you will understand that she is talking about Basque, that she is talking about Louis Kitchen. You will understand that she moved. Okay, what you should work on is these answers. These answers, you see, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, there are some extra answers. What you should do, it says which problem does each of these cafes have? What are their problems? Okay, and they will talk about it problems, and they will not say the exact thing that is said here. For example, some ingredients were too expensive. Okay, expensive ingredients, right? For example, Thai basil, answer is A. But in the listening, she wouldn't say ingredients and she wouldn't say expensive. She would say something similar to that. Like she would say, paraphrasing, she would say, for example, the price is too high. Or she might say, it's too pricey. Or it's difficult to buy it because of the price. And she wouldn't say ingredients. She would say the products to cook it. Or the potatoes and carrots are out of the roof, for example. Or the prices on cabbages went through the roof and they cannot afford it. Okay, so it shows that this is this answer. Okay, you have to read these answers, A, B, C, D. Okay, but don't expect the speaker to say the exact thing. Expect the speaker to say something within the topic, within like something similar to that. For example, it says ingredients too expensive. She might say something about the ingredients. She might say something about or something look like expensive. Something that sounds like expensive. Okay. Next, meals took a long time to prepare. Okay, a long time to prepare. They cook it too long. That's all. She might say, she wouldn't say, it takes a long time to cook it. It's very easy, right? She wouldn't say something like that. She might say, it takes about 40 to 45 minutes to cook something. While in other cafes, it takes about 15 minutes. So compared to 15 minutes, 45 minutes is too long. That's why the answer is B. Okay, something similar to that. Okay, so that's why what's up, bro? Where are you from? I'm from Kazakhstan. Where are you from? Okay, let me just get it back to its position so that you would see me. Okay, how is it going? So this is a website called Engnavate, and here you can do the practice yourself. Okay, so we were talking about speaking. Shall we continue our speaking? We were talking about evening time. So what do you usually do in the evening time? The first question. The second question. Number 3, what do you dislike doing in the evening? So one of the most hated activity for me to do in the evening is preparation for tomorrow. I mean, preparation for work. I really hate to prepare for work in the evening. Like, generally, I hate preparing for work. Either it's in evening or in the morning or at any time of the day. Generally, I hate preparing for the work, so to say. Okay, Ruh, good night. I hope this helps. You can watch it again tomorrow and do some practice, okay? Yes, I wrote about it. Okay, what else? In the evening, I don't like... What? Do you have any ideas what people usually don't like doing in the evening? What people usually don't like doing in the evening? I'm out of ideas. I only have one idea, is preparation for work. but it can go at any time of a day. What else? Maybe meeting with somebody in the evening. Somebody might not like it. Maybe cooking, maybe tidying your room, or maybe reading. I don't know. Maybe doing some practice. Maybe learning something. Maybe having a lesson in the evening is very difficult for somebody. I don't really know. Maybe doing some sports is not a good idea for somebody. Maybe they don't like doing sports in the evening. Maybe they like doing sports in the morning. What other ideas do you have? Do you have any ideas? Because I don't really know what not to do in the evening. Because usually I do everything in the evening or at night. I don't like doing anything in the morning. But if I have to. Any ideas? No? You're a little bit passive today. What happened? I had a student. Let me tell you a story. I had a student with whom we had lessons almost at night. At 10, at 11 at night we had lessons. And I really wanted to sleep actually. I was very tired after work, and having lessons that late was very difficult. And he usually comes home at 9 or 10 in the evening, and he works at the market, and he sells something, okay, and when he comes from work he's really tired because the whole day he was working, like physically standing and selling something. Okay, he did physical work from the early morning until late evening, and he wanted to take IELTS, and we started preparation. First month went okay, he made some progress, but then he's like there was a period where all sellers have a wave of sales. They sell many things. They have many customers coming. There's a season like that, and this season started after 1 month. And he said that he will be a little bit late, and we moved our lesson to a later time, to 11. Usually we had lessons at 10. And then he started to sleep on the lesson. It's not that our lessons became more difficult. Yes, they are difficult actually. It's not something that I entertain, that I do something entertaining. I don't play some games. I don't I don't like entertaining a student on the lesson. If he came to study, he should study. I'm not a clown to entertain somebody. So there was a time when we had a lesson. We had a lesson on writing. No. We had a lesson on reading. And reading is actually very, it's very difficult to stay concentrated while doing reading. Okay? And he just started snoring during the lesson. I didn't know what to do, to be honest. He started snoring during the lesson. Okay, what would you do if your student started snoring on your lesson? How would you wake him up? I didn't wake him up. He woke up about 10 or 15 minutes later. He woke up at the end of the lesson. I explained the lesson until the end. I heard him snoring, but I kept explaining in hope that he will wake up. And then at the end of the lesson, he woke up, and I told him that if you are very tired, let's not do this or do the lesson. Tell me when you are tired. Tell me that you are very tired. We can move the lesson to other time when you are not tired. And then that way we moved our lessons, and he decided to so we ended up not taking the IELTS. Actually, he decided not to take IELTS, which was sad actually, because he made such a good progress, but his work at the market took all his energy and he couldn't prepare physically, and unfortunately we stopped working. So this is the story. I don't know about you. How do you feel yourself in the evening? Tired? Not tired? After work, yeah, maybe most of you feel tired. You're not tired till the examination day. Yeah. No. Some students get tired before the examination because it's a stress, constant stress, and because of the stress they they don't have energy to do anything, just because they are too worried about the examination. So that's why I'm asking. If you are too worried, you will be more tired. So you have to focus more on your progress, focus more on, I know it sounds easy, but in practice it's a little bit difficult to work on your mindset. Yeah, I do reading and listening after your lessons and writing in the morning. Oh, you have lots of energy. Okay, Leonard, you are very energetic and hardworking student. I'm really proud of you. Okay, let's answer some questions. What did you do in the evening when you were a child? When I was a child, usually I prepared my lessons for tomorrow. I prepared my homework for tomorrow's lessons because I was the youngest one and nobody wanted to help me, and I was sitting until late night preparing for my lessons for tomorrow, because when I was at school, if I got bad mark, my parents would not beat me like physically, but would scold me very harshly. That's why I didn't want to hear scolding. That's why I had to study. A very sad story to hear. 3 hours in one day is not enough. 3 hours in one day, yeah, that's enough actually. No, I'm motivated by my target 6.5. Yeah, good motivation actually. But don't get too excited. Be careful. Okay? Control your emotions, so to say. Be motivated, but be consistent. Be consistent. Why do I say it in like that way? Consistent. This is not consistent. It's consistent. Okay. Are there any difference between what you do in the evening now and what you did in the past? No, there's not much difference right now. Maybe just probably I started doing some online lessons and live lessons here on YouTube with my students. Other than that, I wouldn't say that something has changed. For example, 5 years ago, I had my evening lessons with my students. Now I also have my evening lessons with my students. Almost nothing has changed. Okay, do you spend your evenings doing the same thing on both weekends and weekdays? No, they are different. On weekends, in the evening, I try not to have lessons. with students, and I try to go somewhere with my family if it's possible, and if there is no such possibility, I would probably spend it by myself, just drinking tea, enjoying my time, maybe tidy my room, prepare some documents for tomorrow, for example, for the week, and then maybe just go for a walk outside. I don't usually read books, actually. That's why I wouldn't mention it. But you can mention it in the evening, reading books before going to sleep. Actually, it's more useful to read books before you go to sleep. Your brain relaxes. Your brain starts to relax when you read books, like physically read books, and then your brain has more rest than watching your phone and then going to sleep, because watching your phone activates your brain. Reading the book relaxes your brain. So before going to sleep, it's better to relax your brain, like your mental activity. So that's why you have to be careful. On weekdays, I don't do actually in the evening, just have my lessons, prepare my stuff for tomorrow. I don't prepare any documents, just my computer and my papers, and then I just go to sleep. That's all. I don't have much energy in the evenings. On weekdays, not on weekends. Okay, so I think that's it for today. I have explained listening part 2 for our student, and we had some discussion about evening time. If you have any ideas, you can write them in the comment section for those who are watching it in the recording. And those who wrote it in the chat, you can just use their ideas, or you can use my ideas. If you have any new ideas, you can write them also below. I will be glad to read your ideas about doing something in the evening. Okay? So, I don't really know about tomorrow's lesson. Will you be here for tomorrow's lesson? Should I do it? I don't know. Maybe, so probably I will do it tomorrow. Even though it's Sunday, I know it's a weekend, and you have to prepare for tomorrow, for the next week. But anyway, I will be here. Even if one person will be here, even if nobody will be here, I will have the lesson at 9 in the evening tomorrow, as usual. Today I found the book by Ethan Sawyer, College Essay Essentials. Did you work it? No, I haven't heard about this book. But I can look it up. If you send it on Telegram, I can watch it. I can read it. And I will tell about it tomorrow, okay? Just send it on Telegram. I will check it up. I will check it out, and then I will give you feedback tomorrow. Okay? So, thank you for coming, and see you tomorrow if you come here. If you come here, I will be here. Okay? So, stay safe. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.